I'd like to welcome everyone to today's edition of the Software Spotlight. And joining us from Poland, we have Bogdan Tiski, who is the general manager from CallPage. And they have a very exciting solution, which we're going to chat about today. One of the interesting things I know a lot of our listeners and viewers have been looking at the solution and sitting on the edge of their seat, wondering which way to go and if it's the right time to make a move. So hopefully we can answer a lot of the questions that people might have. But welcome aboard.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you for inviting me. Good to see you, and hello to all the audience. And I think we're gonna have a good time today.
Fantastic. So first off, I was hoping you can give us a good overview of the call page solution and at a high level, what problem does it solve for businesses in different industries?
Definitely. I think we can have to narrow it down. We can have a look at the definite problem. So first of all, CallPage helps to convert website traffic into sales calls and hot leads. So basically, whether you have website or e-commerce, so we focus a lot on e-commerce as well. So if you have website traffic which want to be converted to sales calls, maybe meeting scheduling or maybe some other types of leads, that's what we have. So increasing the conversion rate, this is first thing. And second thing is decreasing time to lead, or so-called lead response time. Because it's always important, especially, I think we're going to talk more today about the ongoing trends, but nowadays it's core thing not only to generate sales calls and generate leads, but also convert them into actual deals. So, and the different studies, especially there's one good study from Harvard Business Review, shows that the shorter the time of response, the higher the chance of the closing the deal. Basically, CallPage helps you to get in touch with your customer within 28 seconds. So it's only in a matter of seconds.
And I saw that's very exciting. And in today's nowadays world, speed is key. And clearly, for any organization, whether it's an e-commerce retailer or a professional organization, converting either a sale on the spot or generating that lead to get the lead into the pipeline is key. So that 28-second guarantee is crazy amazing, and I've actually used the solution myself, and it really does work. It's amazing.
Thank you. Good to hear that. You mentioned a really good comment about professional services. I think, especially in professional services, time to lead is the key, because especially if we have bigger deals on the table. So bigger deals, sometimes to outcompete the competition on the market, it's essential to provide not only the high quality, but also fast service for the customer. So I think, especially if the customer goes in the market and compares different services, service providers, they sometimes look at the fact who responds first to my query. By having the response within a matter of seconds, I think this is, for a lot of companies who we collaborate with, this is a deal breaker.
Yeah, at the end of the day, and there's no question about it, it's that first impression that can make all the difference in the world. And if you have a sales organization and you're able to not only route the lead to the correct person, but instantly, and they're able to follow up on that lead right away, there's no question that they're meeting the customer at their highest point of interest for whatever your offering is. So that's great. Um, if you were to look at the solution itself, are there some key features or capabilities that really help it to stand apart from technologies in the space? Clearly, that 28-second guarantee and it does work is amazing.
Yeah, so definitely, I'll be showing also a short demo later on, but I think if we can have a look on the what differentiates the product on the market. First of all, that you have to install simplicity of the installation. So once you sign up for the account, you just have already the widget created and one simple piece of code which you install on your website. And having this piece of code, it analyzes user behavior on the website. So basically, it offers not only the immediate callback, but it pops up in this just right moment. So when the user has the highest intent of potential conversation with with your company. So that's the one thing. Second thing, I know it might sound sometimes as a magic, because this is typical thing when we have a conversation with our potential customers and also partners. They think that we make these calls on the somewhere on the backend, so someone does this call. It all happens automatically. So the user just inputs the phone number, and our system generates two calls, one to the agent and one to the website visitor. That's how we connect in the matter of seconds. So that's a second thing. And the third thing, of course, the as you mentioned, the call routing and call distribution. So we make sure that we not only generate the call, but we make sure that your agents, your sales team, support team handles this call. So we have different call logics, call distribution. So for example, you may have the team of 2 folks or maybe 40 folks or even bigger teams on the phone, and we distribute these calls. Either we may call to everyone or one by one, or you can select the basically the routing rules. And this is just only to make sure that calls happens. So just to sum up, our main goal is not only to make sure that you get the list of the leads. So, and then you need to think of what should you do with this list, but also that this call happens, that actual conversation, say either sales or this is service conversation, it happens. So that's our main goal. And actually, we as a company, we measure key things, several things. One is, what is the conversion rate? How do we improve the conversion rate? Second, how do we improve number of leads you're generating? But third, how do you improve actually sales you're making? How does this actually converts into real deals? So this is the key metrics for us, and we always happy to elaborate on that.
So at the beginning, you mentioned that it sounds like some logic built into it that helps it identify the point of peak interest for the
Yes.
visitor to your site as to when the information should be presented to them. Is it based
Yes.
on, okay, so it does have some technology there.
We call it scoring rules. So basically you have the set of 24 available scoring rules, which you can basically set up yourself on the way. Actually, depends how do you see it. For example, exit intent or scroll offset, or maybe some particular part of the page. So it depends how do you set up this behavior. Then the magic happens. So that's the key thing. For example, let's say simple example. You're the professional services, and you know that if someone scrolls more than 50% of your web page, this is higher chance of the deal of closing the deal. Then we can set up that, let's say, once the 50% of the page scrolls, the pop-up opens up and it already prompts into asking the potential visitor, website visitor, into having a conversation with you. Or, for example, your e-commerce store, and you have problem with the left bucket. So,
Sure.
for example, in this case, if someone leaves the website, you can also ask them, "Hey, let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation." And
So a lot of logic that can be configured on the back
exactly.
end, it sounds like. Great. Now, the other question which that prompted, how does the solution scale for larger organizations that are, that may have call centers or different types of operations?
Definitely. So, for the information, I think it's really important to mention that we serve customers who make as little as like 20, 50, 100 calls per month. Customers who make like 25, 30K calls a month at least. So first of all, this is the stable infrastructure. So it helps to distribute these calls, and we have the possibility to initiate the callback either to the like real phone. So you as an agent, for example, you're
Got
a
it.
dentist. You're as a dentist and you want to have callback region on your website. So you can have this call even made on your private phone number. Or if you're a bigger
Sure.
organization and, for example, you have a call center, so just you can just connect one helpline, and then this call is being distributed among your call center. So it all depends from the configuration, but I think the important thing to mention is for both smaller organizations who have like one or a couple folks on the phone to the bigger teams who have the whole call center team.
Okay, great. That is really important to hear. Also, you mentioned integration with
Yes.
websites? So, can you give us just a high level overview of are they customized for each website, or is it just a line of code that could get added to any website?
So when it comes to integrations, there are several layers of the integration. First of all, as Michael, as you mentioned, it needs to be installed on the website. So this is first the installation integration. We do offer several options. Option number one, you get the simple JavaScript code, which you can install basically before the ending body tag on your website. So just copy paste and install it. It basically can be installed on any website. So that's
Okay.
one thing. Second thing, we do have native integration with different CMS platforms and e-commerce platforms. For example, the most common is the WordPress. So we have plugins WordPress, so it's just one-click installation with the WordPress. If your website is built on the WordPress, so this is just one-click installation, and plugin
Got it.
appears on the website.
Yeah, I know a lot of our listeners have WordPress, Shopify,
Yeah.
other solutions like that to use as their front end. Now, what about integrations for
Mm-hmm.
different solutions? Maybe HubSpot or Salesforce or
Definitely.
other types of CRMs, tools like that, analytics.
Definitely. So we already spoke about the layer one. So this is the installation, but the second layer of the integrations, the native integrations we are having. So because once you generated the code through CallPage, of course you have the whole interface, and I'll be happy to show this just in a while how they look
Sure.
like from the inside. But the most popular integration that you have this data generated by CallPage, but mostly you work in, as you mentioned, Michael, in some CRMs, for example, HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive, or maybe use Zendesk for some different support cases. And that's where we also send this data. So we have native integration built with all these platforms, mostly for the data reasons. So to fulfill and to store the data that you generate about your potential prospects or customers. Also, we do have integration with analytics platform. For example, our customers want to understand how their marketing campaign. For example, you have Google Ads budget or Facebook lead ads budget, and you want to understand how do these campaigns perform. We allow this integration, for example, with Google Analytics to give you 360 perspective on your marketing performance.
Perfect. Perfect.
And of course, it's important to mention we do have integration with like integrator platforms like Zapier or any other. So if you don't find
You thought of my next question. I
yeah.
wanted to find out if there was a
Oh.
platform like Zapier. Yep.
So basically, Zapier is there. So if you can find the integration you're looking for in the inside the CallPage account, you can just definitely go there. There's like 5,000 integrations there ready to use. And one important thing, especially for the bigger customers who there are some specific systems or specific CRMs, we do offer API keys. So
Okay, you do have an
basically,
API.
if you have engineer guys, so dev team on your backend, you can always use the API key and just extract the data and sync it into the platform you're using with
Perfect.
no
Well,
hassle.
obviously, it's a very mature platform. It's not like CallPage arrived on the scene yesterday.
Yes.
if you could tell me, and I think we glossed right over it, but a little bit about the founding story of CallPage and where the solution started and how it got to where it is today as a very mature product.
Definitely. So the story starts somewhere in the summer 2015. So especially interesting story that it emerges from the point of the market behavior. So for example, in Poland and overall in Europe, I believe, like, especially you can see it also in Italy, we see that sometimes customers prefer to have a phone conversation rather than type on the chat or maybe
Yes.
wait for complete the contact us form and wait for the reply. They want to have conversation with the customer. So we thought, okay, how can we improve the conversion of our customers or maybe of some companies on the web by allowing them possibility to connect quickly to their website visitors. So that's how the whole idea with the callback solution, with the click-to-call solution here. So the prototype was built. First customers were testing the solution. It was funny because for the first customers, we even had to run demos. We had to like make this kind of it's kind of automated. We had to dial it manually all the phones, but now it's all automated because we process a couple 100,000 calls a month, so it's all
Wow.
automated. Then
Sure.
as the next thing, we went for acceleration. So we've been taking participation in the specific for SaaS companies accelerator in Estonia, in Tallinn, for startup wise guys. So we have participated in the accelerator. We have raised initial funds. So it was series, first of all, it was seed series, then series A. So we have been working a lot on developing our solution also. So because it
Sure.
started mostly the Polish market, but now we have solution available in 40 markets across the globe. So in 40 countries across the globe. Then, of course, the whole COVID period, on this for some customers it was challenging, but for the other customers it was a point where they had to switch on the phone. So for
Right.
us it was also
You were already there.
yeah, we were already there, so we're offering the solution. So for example, some professional services, they used to meet with the customers and now they have to handle the queries over the phone. So we provided our service for them. So that's where also we're at the scale. Um, and that was also really important for us because that's where we reached the break-even point. So that was also really good when it comes to the SaaS business. So at this point of time, it was somewhere 2020. We were thinking, okay, what should be next steps? How do we develop further? And again, speaking of now market trends, as you may see, especially now after the boom of SaaS companies, specifically some specific one problem solution, one problem solution product.
Right.
Now we can see a lot of consolidation in the market. So, for
Absolutely. A
example,
lot of solutions are more moving to more of a consolidated tool.
exactly. That's what was our mature decision. So we were also considering this option. That's why CallPage has been acquired by the SaaS Labs. So in the beginning of 2021. So as a part of SaaS Labs, basically we want to improve the life for the agents, the services, support services, the call centers across the globe. So CallPage is now one of the several products of the SaaS Labs group. One of the biggest products, so the key product is Just Call. So this is, I think, very popular solution, especially in the States, in the North America, the cloud system. And for example, and as a part of Sessler Group, we have this vision where CallPage especially is responsible for the lead acquisition, lead capture. So basically, lead generation engine for our customers who run their business on the phone.
So it
So for
really
example,
sits in the middle of the solution as that
exactly.
lead generation. Well, I
Yeah.
would think from day one it was a perfect blending of technologies, and obviously allowed them to provide the solution to all of their existing customers. So
So we are working now closer and closer. So work on the basically building the solution that would be basically for any company in the market who handles the phone calls and has the website. CallPage is applicable, but if we want to narrow it down to specific group, to specific customer profile, I think any B2C or B2B company who is between like a team of 50 to a couple hundred employees there. So we tackle somewhere smaller business, but maybe mid-market. So that's we tackle who has, let's say, if you have a phone number on your website, and if you expect customers to call from your website, or you want to generate leads from your website, this is the solution. This is the solution to help you out in this case. And another thing is, especially if you have, if your leads or traffic is expensive. So if acquiring is expensive, that's where a solution like this really helps out, because this is only half of the story to generate traffic on your website. But the second thing is to convert this traffic. We are
absolutely, yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, advertising costs only continue to increase as the stock market demands more and more returns. So I think a lot of companies are scratching their heads and saying, how do we, increase efficiency or increase our conversion rate on the traffic and leads that we're already generating to our existing site? And that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's, like you said, it's really something that can be used by any site across any industry that is looking to either generate more conversions on their existing leads or to close sales. And it's interesting because a lot of companies have shorter sales cycles where
Mm-hmm.
clearly getting in front of the customer quickly is very important, but other companies have much longer sales cycles, especially as they head towards enterprise type sales or other types of sales where there are a lot of stakeholders involved. And really just being able to get the lead into the sales funnel at the beginning is key to those wins at the end of the funnel. One other question that I was wondering, obviously you've had a lot of variety of different types of customers. What would you say are the biggest challenges that businesses are facing with lead capture today?
Especially, sure, Michael. Thank you for this question. I think it, it's very industry specific question, but I think to look at different industries. Um, First of all, there's always this marketing versus sales team. Marketing team is works on demand generation, so they build demand. You have marketing budgets in place, so you get the traffic on the website. Even you generate leads, but then how do you convert these leads, as you said? How do you put this lead into the sales funnel? Especially, even though if you have short cycle, it's even more important. But if you have longer sales cycle, it's really important to have this first conversation to get to talk to the customer, because we can look at different industries. For example, real estate. We even have made this several of our own studies on real estate. If you like take 10 real estate companies and you submit the form, like contact form, interested in some estate, how long would it take for them to reply to you? We made this study. What was interesting, for example, in Europe, up to 30% of the companies haven't even replied. Maybe they evaluate some user score. Maybe
Wow.
they thought that it might not be a profile of the customer for them, but still. And another story interesting that some part of these companies have replied for. It took them more than 24 hours to reply for the query. But for
Wow.
me, as a user and any other user on the market, especially nowadays, you submitted one form, you submitted other form, and who replied first? This is the company who got to talk to you. This is where you're in the sales pipeline. You're already having the conversation with the agent.
Sure, and
So
especially for something like real estate, I can tell you here in the U.S., the real estate market is hot, and at the end of the day, the first person to get out to see a house is usually most houses have multiple offers, and the first person to
yes,
get out there is the one to close the deal. So, for an agent in that type of environment, at the end of the day, being able to be the first to reach a consumer, they're in your car and off looking at houses before the other agents are even on the scene. So that's neat. Do you have an example that you could give us of maybe a specific customer or two and maybe their story that you could share with us?
yeah, definitely. So I think just maybe let me get a little bit just to finish up with the real estate. I think
Sure,
with real estate, also one important comment. It's not only the how hot is the market, but also how expensive is to generate the queries and
sure,
how much budgets put there to move things going. So that's definitely a thing. And also then in the end of the day, if you want to ROI from each dollar invested into the marketing campaigns, so that's definitely what you have to look after, because it's not only the number of the queries you're generating or either your website is converting or not, but also how does your sales team perform. And most of the time, this is just a matter of the time. comes to specific customers, we have really nice case, especially here in Europe,
Sure.
which is one of the biggest telecom providers, so which is UPC company. It used to be of the part of Liberty Group. Now it's part of the Play company. So it's one of the biggest telecom providers in the in Central Europe.
Sure.
So the thing is, because now we look at some different industry. One ago we spoke about the real estate, where you have expensive tickets, big tickets. But for example, this company sells, let's say, the telephony, internet, and also different cable networks. So they focus more on the quantity, either on the size of the deal. So basically, you have the team of, let's say, at least 80 folks sitting there just replying for the queries that's being generated on the daily basis, and they just convert this into sales calls. Because
Okay.
look at the example. If you look right now, how do you differentiate yourself, especially being in the business like that? How do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? Like speed of the network, or the like offering of the cable network? Because if you look at the offerings, everyone has pretty much the same offering.
Very similar. Not the
Very
product's
similar.
not very differentiated, so it's really,
Exactly.
and it's a shorter
Exactly.
sales cycle, obviously.
Yes, that's where the time and the, like, if you outperform your competitors, that's where it works really well. But also, it's not the only industry like that. I think that's why, like we spoke already about real estate, this like cable networks and internet providers. But also, we can have a look at car dealerships. We can look at financial services, on some, even lawyers. So basically, everywhere where you have professional service, which is pretty costly, and also the cost of acquisition of the customer is pretty high. That's where it's really important not to only convert this prospect, but also get to talk to them.
Understood. Makes a lot of sense. And the couple of examples he had there, auto dealerships and legal services, clearly very, very high cost of lead acquisition. So I can absolutely see that. And are there, for some of our listeners, are there tips that you have for how they can best optimize their lead capture? Obviously, having a CRM on the back end of it and being able to follow up. But are there other optimization tips that you might provide that you think will help people, get more leads into their funnel?
Definitely. So first of all, I know that I might sound obvious on some of the points, but first of all, in 2023, and we are following 2024, your website should be mobile first. So everything you do should be mobile first, because most of the consumers, they browse through their mobile devices. So that's definitely the first thing. Second thing, it shouldn't be overloaded. It should be really definitive and exact messaging on the website, and clear call to actions. So clear call to action. So because, people at this point of time, consumers have so much different distractors, especially the social media, with
Sure.
different other platforms, that they don't spend too much time. If you look at average time spent on the website, just decreasing from over time, because consumers have now this pattern where they come, they check it out, they decide they either purchase or not, or either they submit the form, or either they get in touch or not. So that's why it's really important, the clear messaging, and to understand your product, your service, in just be able to understand your product or service in a matter of seconds. We already spoke about clear call to action. And third, I think these ways of contact is really important. Either you're putting your phone number on your website, or you're putting contact form, or you're putting some solution. But of course, I would be recommending putting callback solution, the CallPage widget, which basically covers all of those. But
Sure.
still, it's really important to allow the customer to, first of all, not only clear messaging and call to action, but also get them some way of contact with you. And this is really important. I know these points may sound pretty basic for some of our listeners, but again, if you look at the websites around the market, especially for the companies who have been on the market for quite some time. They still like to do business in the old fashion, but market
Sure.
changes, behavior, consumer behavior changes, so we need to adapt for that. And I think by just following this couple of simple rules, it's uh, you'll perform much. One more thing is also important as a next step. Look more on attribution, especially the where you spend money for. Because you may think that okay, I have a couple thousand or couple $100,000 budget for the marketing team spend that, but how do you attribute this spending? How does it convert into the actual not only leads but deals? This is very important to understand which channels perform and invest more in this channel. So this is simple tips, but I think that's where we need to start.
No, and I would absolutely agree with you. I mean, mobile first is clearly the trend. I mean, I think we're approaching 70% of our visitors visit Software Oasis on mobile, and it's only increasing. So that's important, and obviously the speed of the site and the solution is clearly important. I can hear a lot of listeners saying, "All right, so show us the solution already."
Awesome.
So I don't know if you have a demo where you could share the solution with our visitors so they can get an idea of how CallPage works in real life and what the solution's all about and what they might see on the front end or back end or both.
Sure, I do. So doing the landing page with a simple widget, so I'll be happy to show it through. So let me share my screen.
Sure,
Let me share my
wonderful.
screen. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, any solution that will help to convert more leads is clearly something that is beneficial across any organization. Not only converting more leads, but understanding, like you were saying, the attribution and what channels are performing and where you can transition funds to get the best return on your advertising and investment dollars.
Alrighty. So I have the simple website. So let's imagine this is the website of basically any company there on the web who provides some kind of services and wants to capture the website traffic. So for example, maybe some medical companies, some customer service, some professional services, customer service, even
Okay.
so so once you install the CallPage widget, so as you may see, this kind of button appears on your website. And of course, you can totally adjust it to the look of your website, to the feel. And basically, visitors can, as I said, there are different scoring rules earlier on in our conversation that may trigger this widget, or users may only just click on the widgets like that. So they may see this be prompted into having the conversation with you. So the widgets pop up, and the website visitors have, thanks to CallPage, have 4 different forms of contact. So of course, the most important one and the most popular one, the calling app. So this is the callback within 28 seconds. I'll be showing that
And I
just in the
noticed that it actually populates the country code
Yes,
for,
it does. Yes, it
yeah,
does.
which is very important. So people
So
don't have to
especially if you
fumble
have,
with that.
yeah, if you have international business, so you can basically, it's already on the back end, it knows by the IP, where the visitor came from, so it offers all this, even this phone number format, so all the respective data just and the exact, uh, just for the exact customer. So for example, if you have a website in different languages, for example, English version, French version, maybe German, or even Polish, for example. So you can have different kind of communication there, adjusted to your customer needs.
Perfect.
So you fully customize the widget look, so you can add logos, so same backgrounds, and you can change all the text. You also have different these like social proofs on the website. Of course, data protection is there. So, for example, some
For
concerns
GDPR and
GDPR, for
sure.
example, here in Europe. So that's definitely there. It's totally adjustable. But when it comes again to the form of contact, so you have 4 forms of contact. first is call me now, so it's immediate call back in 28 seconds. Call me later. This is the possibility to schedule a call for later. So for example, if your visitor doesn't visit your website, but for them it would be best to call you tomorrow 9 a.m. in the morning. So just
Sure.
book tomorrow 9, for example. This depends from the schedule you set up. So for example, I want 10 a.m. Just put the number. What's important, neither website visitors or neither you don't have to remember about calling back the customer. System will initiate the call automatically at 10 a.m. So both of you will get the phone call at 10 a.m. will be connected simultaneously. So this is
It's so
important.
obvious, but it's such an amazing feature. I mean, it really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but you can even think yourself from how many times you were like getting in touch with the business, or your consumers were getting in touch with you. You said, "Hey, yeah, let's chat tomorrow." Of course, maybe you put some task in CRM or put some reminder in
Right.
your notes, but sometimes you just forget, and it just doesn't happen, or you get busy. But
Sure.
thanks to this system, and what's also important, our system will be renewing tries. We have at least like 3 retries of the phone conversation of the call. So it doesn't
Okay.
happen within the first try. It will be just trying out. And you can set up this try attempts and also the time between attempts yourself. Of course, another form of contact is leave a message. So just basically simple contact form. But still, when user submits the contact form, you get basic data like phone number, and you can always follow up. But which is also important, you can get all the user behavior data in your CallPage account later on. So the IP, where this customer, what was the journey over the website. So all of that, and this is helpful for you for supporting the acquire the customer and understand, for example, if this customer has been checking this specific page and has been interested in this specific service. And last but not least, form of contact is the schedule meeting. This is brand new by us, so we built this in the basically beginning of this year. So basically, it works. It automatically schedules a like meeting with. So let me just put my details. So you can schedule sometime with company either for online or offline meeting. So you just, of course, this all form is customizable, so you can collect all the data that needed for your business to understand your prospect better. And you, for example, in this case, we do run schedule a demo, but you can schedule a meeting in our store. So
Sure.
whichever works for you. It's synced with the calendar, so it works just like any other solution. So when you see that invitation has been booked, you are meeting with myself. So I'm meeting with myself, but it will show up basically the avatar name of the agent who will be running the meeting. And this is going to be Google Meet, for example. But we also do have Zoom, we have Microsoft Teams, we have WebEx, and Cisco or offline meeting. But let's move to the core thing, so the callback within 28 seconds. So systems offers the user, hey, would you like to receive a free callback in 28 seconds? And of course, the first thing that's surprise, is it possible to get the callback within 28 seconds?
Right.
And 28 seconds is kind of, sometimes it's longest, which it takes because actually the call is triggered within 10 seconds. But sometimes you just need to give time for the agent and for the website user to pick up the phone. So Michael, just let me know if you can see my phones.
I can,
It's
yeah.
recording.
I can
Yeah.
see.
So I
Sure.
put it, for example, let's imagine I'm an agent and this mobile phone is connected to the system. So this is the phone of the potential prospect from the website. So I'm just putting my number on this phone. It says, first of all, the timer, which is again another social proof. And we are
Sure.
calling CNC, all happens. So, and I'm basically, I'm just being connected
That
with the
was not
prospect,
even
with
10
the,
seconds.
exactly. You see yourself that
So
it
you've
has been
exceeded
just
the customer's expectations already.
exact. And also, which is really important, the data that we are collecting, you can collect some specific data for the conversation. This is usually useful for the companies who want to have less calls, but have more data on the customers. So like more quality leads. Or you can, as in this example, you can collect some data after the conversation. So you had the conversation and you found the customer, hey, it was nice talking to you. Can you please also put your email after the conversation so we can follow up with you on that? And that's how you collect more data on the customer. But
Right.
what is more important to guarantee the highest conversion, the journey should be simplest. The journey should be simple. That's why we recommend our customers on the first stage ask only for the phone, because this is the simple rule of thumb. The more data you have to fill, the lower the conversion.
Exactly.
Just putting one field there, just the phone number field, and then collecting all the data afterwards. This is the way of success. So maybe let me try to see. Again, see, this is another feature that also I think for bigger customers is important. And we already pointed to that, the IP blacklist, because in our conversation was testing this simple web page to see to configure the widget for podcast today.
Right.
And I already had few tries of scheduling a call and getting a call back. And after the latest attempt, it blacklisted my IP. So this is really important for the companies who worry that, okay, maybe some of my competitors is going to spam me, and maybe request a fake call. But our system has also different security options just to secure you from different fake calls and spam. So that's also important. Maybe
Great.
let me move really quickly to the account. So that was the look of the website. How does it look on the website? But also you are the admin of the second. Maybe I'll just log in once again.
Yeah, I think seeing, all of the different scenarios, it's not simply just a callback, but there are a lot of different ways in which the system can interact with your leads. To at the end of the day, I guess everything leads to a lead, but just different ways of getting there. Whether it's a meeting or a call or a future callback or leaving a message, it gives them different options.
Definitely. And this is the look. How do you see your CallPage account as being the owner of the account and the agent? So you have
Okay.
the access of your account. First of all, of course, you have all the statistics of the call, the lead has been generated, but also you see the whole lead capture data. So, for example, there has been some meetings booked, there has been some calls, and you also can look at the lead details. So you have the phone number. Of course, this is hidden due to GDPR reason, but in your
Sure.
case, you will be, as admin, you will be able to see the whole. Basically, you'll be able to see the whole details
Record.
regarding
Yep.
the lead capture and all of that. And you also see the IP address of the customer, so location, so this and all the activity on the website, which is also really useful. So in my team tab, you can quickly set up your calls from your team. That's how we distribute. So you can either each one by one, you can connect different groups there, and you can also configure your widgets. And this is just really quickly. The widget, as you may see, it might look like simple widget on the website, but you have different powerful options. When it comes to installation, this is the code that you may install on your website, but you also have, as we spoke, different CMS and e-commerce platform to one-click
Sure.
installation.
Wix,
But
Shopify. Yep. Got it.
yeah, but you can also fully customize the look of the widget. So the color, you can even put your own color. You can get the theme. You can upload your own background, upload your logo, play with the maybe first option, default option of contacts should be call me later, or maybe you're a B2B business, you focus more on getting meetings with your customer or demo calls. So it's fully customizable. Also, you fully customize all the call logics. So for example, you decide how do you call your agents all the same time, maybe one by one, or maybe in some random way. You can also record the conversation, and maybe for the quality assurance purpose, you can analyze this conversation further on. And you can also use caller ID. For example, you want to represent all the calls for your prospects with one. So it's also really cool thing. You can upload your own playbacks. Because when customer records a call, generates a call, they hear that you'll be receiving a call by call page within a few seconds. So that's also really important. Last but not least, we spoke about the scoring rules. So that's where you set the scoring rules by default. We have 3 scoring rules set. So if user tries to leave the website, user already visited the website, or maybe you have scroll offset, so 1,500 pixels. But you can basically add any of the available scoring rules there and set it up yourself in the way that works for you. And finally, for more advanced users, we allow users to configure their widget look with the custom style CSS. So basically, if you have some coding knowledge, you know, you can code the CSS styles. So you can basically make this widget look whatever works for you.
Right. So
I think
obviously
that's
you have your predefined styles, and then a company can include their own CSS. That is really a very, very nice option.
right. So that's the most important thing from my end. Of course, there is, to be honest, there is like 1,500 different features there hidden, smaller or bigger, depends on the customer and the niche, on the market, on the industry. So, but most of the things are, again, made for 2 main reasons. First, to help you generate more calls, more leads from your website, and to get you connected with your potential customer faster. So, this is 2 main things that we are working on daily basis.
So at the end of the day, it's really an option to stand out from the crowd, in terms of getting front and center in front of your clients before your competitors do. I guess that, at a very high level is really the key to the solution.
That's true. That's true.
Now, what I was also wondering, can you give us another example of like a specific company that's using it in a different industry that may not be top of mind for a lot of people, or maybe one of the industries we already spoke about, and what they're seeing in terms of how it's helping their organization?
Definitely. So, I'm not sure if I'll be able to call the names, but
Sure.
most of the biggest travel agencies are using our solution, especially in Poland and in Europe as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it may sound interesting, but especially this work really well in the hot deals. For example, last minute deals. We have last
Sure.
minute deals and you want to convert website traffic. So this is, for example, for us from the April till end of September, from the December till like maybe end of February. This is really hot seasons. So we need to handle a pretty decent number of calls by our customers because for them, this is the peak season, and they want to make sure that uh, there is no downtime in the service. So, for example, maybe I'll call name. For example, we have this company called Coral Travel. So this is one of the biggest also operators here in Poland when
Sure.
it comes to the travel industry, and it's really interesting. Another example is private medical companies who sell like insurance or maybe some medical services, and they use it for booking appointments. For
Okay.
example, because you as a consumer, you have several options, so you can always call a call center and wait on the line. You're 10th person waiting on the line. Your approximate waiting time is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll get some. Imagine you have the company on the market who says, "Listen, if you're in, for example, if you're in need, you want to talk to someone, book an appointment real quickly. You'll do this in a matter of seconds." This is something that's really hard to compete with. I mean, from the terms of the offering of the customer service, not on the offering of your business service.
Sure.
That's
You
interesting.
I know you mentioned you had done some studies and the like. Just top of mind, are there some interesting statistics that you can share with us that visitors might find helpful, and really seeing the scope of how, measurably how this will improve their operations?
Yeah. So let me put some numbers there. For example, there is this study. I think I mentioned about this in the beginning of our conversation about our business review. And basically, it says that you get back to your customer within 5 minutes compared to 1 hour. So 5 minutes, 1 hour is not a big gap, but still, yeah, it increases chance of closing the deal within 10x. So I think this is definitely something we need people to remember. That especially nowadays, time to lead is a core thing from standpoint of user behavior. That's one thing.
Wow.
Second thing, depends on the industry, but CallPage can help you sometimes even double or even triple the conversion rate from your website. It all depends how the website is built. But I think on average, you can expect like 25-30% increase in conversion rate.
That's
So this
crazy.
is,
Yeah.
and imagine that, we speak even in the matter of $1 invested, but let's say we have budget of a couple thousand of dollars or a couple $100,000 invested in the paid traffic on your website. So, by just even increasing by 1 percentage point, it's already ROI at the end of the day. It's substantial. So that's another thing. But overall, if you look at CallPage, having CallPage in the website, from some industries, it may help to convert up to, I think, 2, 3, 4, even sometimes 5% of your website traffic. But some 5% should be some really dedicated landing pages. But I think something like 2 or 3% of your website traffic, this is possible to convert. So
And
it's
at the
really
end of the
simple
day,
math.
for companies that are paying for media through Google AdWords,
Mhm.
Bing, through any Facebook, through any of the other types of advertising mediums, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Everybody should, uh, you know, from sitting where I sit, I mean, it seems like it's a no-brainer for any company to set this up and get aboard right away. So that leads me to my next question. So for any of
Mhm.
our listeners that want to get up and running, or even just check out CallPage, can you guide us through how they would? I see you have a few different offerings in terms of levels of packages that they can get started with. How would one of our listeners decide what would be the right package or the right starting point?
Definitely. So first of all, we offer a free trial. So we do offer a 14-day free trial of the all unlimited features of the solution. So
Okay, and
basically, you can,
we'll leave a link in the call
yes,
notes so any
yes.
or in the show notes so anyone who wants to take advantage of that free trial can do that.
So definitely, I would highly recommend to go ahead and just sign up for a free trial. So you have 14 days of unlimited features. So all of the features there, even though I showed some of those, again, there's pretty decent amount of features that may help your business convert website traffic into sales calls. Uh, so 14 days free trial, and then you have basically, so the pricing is built in the way where first of all you have three options. So you have basic option of the platform, you have full option of the platform, or you have custom plan. So our team will be happy to recommend either you should sign up for the basic option or the advanced option. Maybe we can prepare some special offer for you based on need of the business. But you can fully, on our end, we focus a lot on the customer service since we're not only helping to get the make sales calls, but also to increase the net promoter score of your business. So for us, this is the key thing to make our customers happy. That's why even though you sign up for the free trial, you'll get someone from our team assigned. We'll be happy to run a demo for you and adjust it just for your business needs. Um, and you will have these 14 days to basically try out yourself and to see how does your conversion rates improve.
And Bogdan, I can tell you from having run several sales organizations in the past and having spent quite a bit in advertising dollars, the cost of a solution like you're suggesting here is a no-brainer. I mean, it's an insignificant cost in the whole equation.
Yes.
So I think for anyone who seriously has a funnel of leads and the like, and really wants to take advantage of closing as many leads as possible. CallPage is an ideal solution. So I really want to thank you for taking the time out to join us on the Software Spotlight podcast. And are there any other final thoughts that you wanted to leave with our listeners?
Yeah, Michael, just first of all, also thank, thank you for inviting and having me today, also for our listeners. Just to, as a small reference regarding the pricing, I think this is really good value for the listeners. To basically, you start from as little as $39 a month. So for this kind of service, I think this is really decent option for you to improve the conversion rate from the website. And for all the our listeners, also want to offer make some special offer only to software analysis, basically our listeners. So with the promo code, I think we'll put it also on the information after the conversation, but with the promo code of software analysis, all our listeners will be able to get 25% off for the first 3 months of the CallPage service. So I think it's also
Oh, that's fantastic. We really weren't expecting that, but a 25% off discount code with Software Oasis in the checkout is very much appreciated.
Again, thank you for having me, and I hope that not only our conversation about the trends and suggestions, but also the service itself would be really beneficial for our listeners.
Fantastic. So joining us from Poland today, we have Bogdan Tiski, who is the general manager over at CallPage. And coming up on our next edition of the Software Spotlight, we have Joran Hoffman from Redditus. And Redditus is a leading affiliate management software designed for software as a service companies. It allows software as a service companies to have a comprehensive platform for growing monthly recurring revenue without upfront costs. So that is our next podcast. And thank you for joining us today.